Oh, what's that? That's early for the traffic sounder, but it's for a reason. We want to get you safely where you're going, and we're checking with Jake on your morning commute right now.
Who's Drake?
Drake. He's a rapper from Chicago, and he's here doing traffic. Unbelievable. What an honor. Going to rhyme that traffic this morning.
All right, On the Road's brought to you by Circle K. No accidents or issues on your commute right now this morning, so please drive safe. From your Vanderveer Kia Traffic Center, where you can shop over 500 new and pre-owned vehicles at KiaVanderveer.com. I'm Jake Herron on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland.
Champagne Poppy with that traffic right there. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you. Oh, what's this? What is this? Oh, what is this music I got going here? Sounds like some kind of intro music or something. Sounds like someone special might be in studio, and it is EC3.
Good morning.
Joining the morning hang with Ryan Lang on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland. Dude,
I just can't believe I just walked into Drake.
Right? Unbelievable. I know.
Traffic.
First, you walk into me.
Yeah.
And then you got Champagne Poppy.
Hotline Bling.
Right.
Himself.
He's coming from the 6 with his woes, man. How about that? Dude,
are we alternative? No.
Yeah, we're going to mix it up a little bit today. Wow, dude. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having us.
I appreciate it. So much to talk about today about your career. We're talking with EC3, Cleveland native, pro wrestler. You've got, you're making your journey home.
I am making the journey home. And speaking of home, my father just texted me, hey, when are you on the radio? And I said, right now. So shout out to my father, EC2.
EC2 listening?
He is.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
I know he's avoiding traffic, too, thanks to Drake.
Yeah, Drake giving EC2 all of his traffic tips on his way in. And what's it like, first of all, raised in a wrestling household? Has it always been a dream for you?
Yeah, it'd be pretty simple to say it was you can call it a dream or you can call it a misguided childhood ambition. But since it worked out for me, then yes, it was a dream. A dream is what a lot of people chase. Chasing the dream can become a nightmare, but I'll tell you what's not a nightmare, and that's being back home.
Yeah, dude. And this is it this weekend in Cleveland, Temple Live. The Journey Home, an Exodus Pro event. This is the first Exodus Pro event?
This is the very first Exodus Pro event. So what do you think of the name? Exodus Pro.
Exodus Pro?
Well, does it kind of make you feel something?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It's sort of inspired.
It's
sort
emotive.
Of intrigued.
I am intrigued.
Perhaps.
Very intrigued. Where did the name come from?
The Bible.
The good book?
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah,
written by God. Well, I mean, part of that, but part of the term, it sounds really cool, first off. And then secondly, an Exodus is kind of a journey. So we're all on our own personal journeys. Mine just happens to be within professional wrestling, coming back home to bring not only this promotion, the biggest aspect we're bringing home is the CYN Cooperative, the wrestling training school, and, really trying to build within this community.
And we'll talk about that a little bit, because before the main event on Saturday night, you've got kind of an event for aspiring wrestlers and young people getting into the business. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, this is where dreams start, really. And the wrestling business can be a kind of fickle, strange, weird place, especially, I don't want to say lower levels, but I want to say like when you're starting out. So fortunately, with 20 years plethora of experience, I've seen the absolute best. I've seen the absolute worst, more often than not the absolute worst. But to be able to create something based on what I've seen, what I've experienced, what I've done, to kind of give a platform to what the next generation will be. I think a lot of wrestling companies are missing out on the fact that there needs to be what's next. Mm-hmm. A lot of fans clamor for what's next sometimes, but they just don't know how to get it or where it comes from. So wanting to create that, pass forward the knowledge, pass forward how to do this the right way, and to do it in Cleveland, then to be streaming on Premier Streaming Network, to hopefully bring it to a massive audience.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with EC3 pro wrestler, Cleveland native, getting ready for a huge event with Exodus Pro this weekend, the Journey Home at Temple Live. Now, talking about, for somebody listening saying, hey, I want to do what he does, and you're talking about training these young wrestlers and getting them off on the right foot. Can somebody listening this morning still join Friday's event?
Friday's event is for trained professional wrestlers, the CYN Preface Seminar. Yes, they could. If there's any, independent wrestlers usually aren't up this early. So if they read about this later on the internet when the sheets report it, yes, there are some spots available for Preface. But like one thing continuing education within professional wrestling is like anything. If you want to master something, you need to go to places where you're provided insight, knowledge from the absolute best. So one thing I really want to bring to the school, the academy, the cooperative, and to wrestling is like higher level education. So anytime we bring in high level names to Exodus Pro, I want to run these kind of training caps, and I'll have Doug Basham and Aaron Stevens, so who you might know as Damian Sandow. If you remember him, he worked with The Miz, another Cleveland native. If you remember Miz Dow. Yeah, he was the real lifeblood of that, to be honest with you. But he's one of the weirdest guys I know, so that means he's really creative and really eccentric and a wealth of knowledge.
Well, we love weird people here in the morning hang with Ryan Lang. And we're talking with EC3. Coming up, we're going to talk about the actual match that we're building up to on Saturday night for the Exodus Pro event, the Journey Home. It's a personal thing, and we're going to get into that with EC3 in studio, live with us here on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland. It's the morning hang with Ryan Lang. More coming up. Pumpkins today is the greatest. Well, because we got EC3 in the studio here on the morning hang with Ryan Lang.
I'm going on tour with the Smashing Pumpkins.
What?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Next week, we're going to be part of the World is a Vampire tour of the NWA. He's bringing me in there. Hopefully, he lets me sing Disarm with him live on stage.
He's not going to let you do that.
He wants the fans to never come back.
We got a text on the Forest City Shuffleboard text line, 216-578-1073, from Billy, who says absolutely not. I wonder what he's talking about there. So.
Well, if it was from Billy, it wasn't William Patrick Corgan. So it doesn't matter.
From William Patrick. But why are we talking about Billy Corgan? I didn't know this. Billy Corgan, he's like the owner of NWA.
Yeah, the National Wrestling Alliance is owned, operated, and a creative masterminded by one William Patrick Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins.
Dude, that's so cool.
Which is really interesting when you have airport conversations and like, what do you do? You wrestle? Oh, you that TV, like... Somehow it always like, you know the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins? Yeah. He's the owner of my company.
He's my boss.
Really? Yeah.
That's not the first thing you think of when you think, oh, you're in the professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, you must know Billy Corgan.
I had a dream about him last night.
You did?
I'll tell you the story real fast. So 3 a.m., if you wake up at 3 a.m., that's apparently when spirits are trying to talk to you, whether they're the devil or whether they're angels. I don't know. That's what I learned when I woke up at 3 a.m. and Googled, why do I keep waking up at 3 a.m.? But so I wake up at 3 a.m. and I had this vivid dream, and I usually don't remember them, but it was so vivid that I received a demo of Smashing Pumpkins doing a cover of Take a Walk by Passion Pit. Why? I don't know. I'm not a huge Passion Pit fan. Take a Walk. I haven't heard the song in months, but it was like in my head that I had this dream, and I like, do I tell this dude that I had this dream? Like, maybe it's a sign and he needs to know.
I did need to know.
So like, I'm debating it to talk to William about it, and then he emails me. So I'm like, well, now I have to tell him because now the sign's there. And I tell him, dude, I had this weird dream, but like, I didn't know if it'd be offensive because like, you're world famous rock star, Smashing Pumpkins. Like, if I compare you to Passion Pit, are you gonna be like, why would you do that? Or are you gonna be like, okay,
that's my favorite band ever?
Yeah, but then if he was like a wrestler, if he's like compared to me to some like, hey man, I had a dream you did a promo like Austin Theory, like, why? That's weird.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, and I'm way better, so why would you do such a thing? But yeah.
Did you lead with, hey Billy, I had a dream about it, with no 100%. Context?
Yeah, well, we're both Pisces, so we're both kind of weird.
Get that Pisces weird vibe going.
No, we got that.
I'm picking up on it.
Vibrational energy. So.
EC3 in studio in the morning hang with Ryan Lang on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland. So
can we Take a Walk during the break?
We'll see what we can do. Okay. That's what anybody that sends in a request, I'm like, we'll see what we can do. We'll get to that in just a moment. But you got something that you're getting to later this month. You're wrestling for the heavyweight championship for NWA.
Yeah, the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship.
And it came about in an interesting way. You relinquished the championship, right?
Yes, there's the national championship. So if you hold that for apparently 100 days, you can relinquish that for a shot at the big gold belt, the 10 pounds of gold, one of the most prestigious titles in the world of professional wrestling. If I were to win this, that would make me an EC 3-time world heavyweight champion. Wow. Think of the irony. And we know the power of the number 3.
I'm already putting out the shirts. I'm going to print the shirts for you.
I could see the goosebumps rising.
They are, man. It's cold in here.
Yeah.
So the power of the number 3, tell me.
Yeah, it's the master builder number, and I'm building an empire here.
Yeah,
starting with an exodus, controlling narratives, becoming a world champion, and we'll see where it takes us. But
we'll see where. Well, it's taking us to Cleveland this weekend at Temple Live for the journey home.
You know who I'm fighting for the title?
Yeah, Tyrus,
Fox News' own Tyrus.
Fox News correspondent Tyrus
for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's where my life's at, and it's crazy and weird.
And Billy Corgan will be there.
And Billy Corgan will be overseeing the festivities.
I think I've had this dream, actually, speaking of dreams.
Dude, my life's weird.
Billy was there. Fox News guy was there.
Yeah.
But this weekend at Temple Live in Cleveland, you're going to be fighting your old trainer. This is an interesting story. Right. Tell me about this. J-Rock Daddy?
J-Rock Daddy. Yeah, when I first started in this industry, there's a lot of all right, this business is full of con men, snakes, snake oil salesmen, evil people that will just take money and run. J-Rock was a young wrestler at the time, but he started a little school, and it was like a podunk. It was no bigger than this office, the size of our school.
For those listening, it's very small.
Yeah, it's about 18 by 18. The ring was about 16 by 16. The first day I walked in there, it was like an old abandoned car garage. First thing I did is I walk into, it wasn't a bathroom, but it was a water closet, right, with a toilet in it. So I opened it up, and there's just a giant turd sitting there. Man. And I'm like, well, I guess this is my life from now on.
But welcome to the big time.
Yeah. But he was an excellent trainer at a very young level to where, he taught me everything he could, and I got everything I could out of him. And I had to move on to, master and succeed in the way I wanted to. But to come home and to have him be my initial challenge where he's still going at an extremely high level, it's a great honor. He talks a lot of junk. I think he has a supreme jealousy issues of my resounding success and his, he's very, very good, but he just never got his break. So maybe he sees this match as his opportunity to have that break.
Oh, we just got a text also here from J-Rock Daddy. He says, I know you are, but what am I? Interesting. He's talking all that smack ahead of this weekend.
Just like that. Wow.
Just like that. Ooh, a jab. Also in studio, Celeste is with us here, a professional wrestler. Hello, Celeste.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. You're going to be fighting this weekend, too.
I am.
At the Exodus Pro event, the Journey Home. It's at Temple Live. Tickets are still available. We'll talk about how to get those in just a moment. But you have an interesting trainer story. You're just kind of getting off your feet in the wrestling business. And who is your trainer?
So my trainer was Dr. Tom Pritchard. And
who's the greatest wrestling coach in the world.
Yes.
Like he's responsible for me, but so many other high-level people, from The Rock to Mark Henry to anybody who's been on TV at a high level. Dr. Tom probably has some responsibilities. So.
That's cool.
Yeah, former WWE head coach, developed the entire NXT system.
Wow.
So
it's a pretty good resume.
It was not easy to get in. I had to go through this whole application process, make videos, and try to prove why he should waste his time. No, I'm kidding. Spend his time actually training someone who knew absolutely nothing about wrestling when I decided I wanted to go from being a cheerleader to being a wrestler.
Wow. That's so cool. And for somebody who's listening thinking, how can I make that jump? How can I have somebody like Dr. Tom Pritchard find me out? What made you stand out in that video that you made? Did he tell you?
The fact that I had this personality, he saw something that kind of stood out that said, hey, this girl could be good on TV. This girl, obviously I work in all kinds of different stuff. I'm a trained actor. I do radio as well. So it's like that definitely helped me stand out along from, I'm not camera shy. And he always would tell me that's the kind of stuff that can't be taught. Mm-hmm. I could teach you how to work in the ring. I can't teach you how to be a personality. Yeah. So that always worked in my favor.
Well, they're still trying to teach me how to be a personality here on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland. So thanks for the help, Celeste. EC3 in studio as well. We're going to talk a little bit more with them about the upcoming event here, Exodus Pro Wrestling, the Journey Home. Also, a little story about how EC3 made Celeste bleed her own blood.
Well, Dr. Tom, started her, and I'm the one who's going to finish it.
It's all coming up on the Morning Hay with Ryan Lang on
107.3 Alternative Cleveland.
It is the morning hang with Ryan Lang here on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland. We're going to get a look at traffic with Jake. Then we'll get back to EC3 and Celeste in studio. It's an Exodus Pro event this weekend at Temple Live, the journey home. We're going to talk about that and a little bit more with some pro wrestlers. But first, Jake with a little help from our friend here. What's going on in our morning commute?
All right, On the Road's brought to you by Circle K. No accidents or issues on your commute right now this morning. Gosh, they're zooming by out there on the roads.
Slow down, people.
From your Vanderveer Kia Traffic Center, where you can shop over 500 new and pre-owned vehicles at KiaVanderveer.com.
Oh, no!
Oh! I'm
Everybody's
Jake
dead.
Herron on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland.
It's just the morning hang with Ryan Lang, having some fun with EC3 in studio. Thank you again for joining us. Cleveland native. We've got pro wrestler, NWA credits, WWE credits, and we're getting ready for the Exodus Pro Wrestling event this weekend in Cleveland. And Celeste is here as well, who has a match coming up on Saturday night. You two have a little bad blood,
I would
so to speak.
say not one
Is it
bit.
bad blood now?
No,
Are we
absolutely
fighting?
isn't.
I'm
It is
hyping
not.
it up for the radio.
Celeste is one of the CYN cooperative prospects. So she came in. The irony of how we met through the NWA and the fact that she's also a Cleveland native, / Willoughby. Funny story. Her house she lives in is right next door to my ex-girlfriend's house from high school.
So are you like keeping tabs?
She's gone.
It was really funny. He was going to drop me off, and he just starts like freaking out. He's like, "Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! No, this is not
Don't
the
tell
house."
me I take a left here.
It's literally your journey home.
Jeez. I remember crawling out of that tree.
Oh gosh, we cut the tree down.
But you guys didn't know each other back then. You
No.
guys just
No.
kind of met each other.
No, the house she lives in now was a different neighbor. at
Oh,
the time.
okay. Gotcha. So how did you guys come to meet and how did this story about what did he break your nose? What's going on?
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Listen, I am a hands-on trainer. I don't want to call myself a trainer. I'm like a life guide and a guru, and like
A Sherpa
masters.
guide of life.
Yeah, like I'm very esoteric and weird and holistic or whatever. But we met through the NWA, so she was working within there, trying to work her way up, and we've had some conversations, and we started talking ideas, and she found out I was probably opening something, and we threw some creative ideas around each other. Now she's training with us. She's working extremely hard. I figured I'd bring her as the best representation because all the other guys are ugly dudes. So
And I took a
mongoloid.
shower today, so.
Oh, hey, thank you so much for that.
just so the fans know, we'll have, talented, exceptionally beautiful women on this show as well. But beautiful for their souls, not just their looks.
Exactly.
Yada, yada, yada. Anyways, I punched her in the face.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's really trying to sweet talk this
Yeah,
up.
long story short. So what happened?
Okay, so side note, I also work, do radio, and we wear headphones all the time,
All the time.
right? Blasting music.
Yep.
I literally, after 10 years of doing this,
You can't
have
hear.
bad hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real thing. So we're in the ring and we're trying to talk, and I just can't hear what he was saying because you hear him talking, he mumbles, and next thing I know, it turns around, bam, right in the face. And I'm like,
I speak softly and I carry a big stick.
This is a family show. EC3 in with Celeste.
To what she mentioned with Dr. Tom is that you cannot teach the presence, you cannot teach the character, the ability to show up on television, like that charisma you can't teach. And another thing in wrestling is trying to teach the intuition to feel. So she mentioned she's from cheerleading, which is very organized.
choreographed, yes,
Yeah,
very.
and it's very much, which wrestling isn't. Wrestling, to me, is very intuitive. It's, physically intuitive, it's mentally intuitive, and it's especially emotionally intuitive. So a lot of it, I don't want to call it improv as much as, but it's a lot of feeling each other out. So there is communication, in a sense, between combatants, so there is an idea of where it's going. But what people worry about is it being perfect, and that's a rookie thing where it'll never be perfect. So the second you let that go, the more you're going to succeed and the more you're going to feel it. So her to feel it, she had to just feel the back of my hand. But here's the thing. All right. There's a wrestling roll-up. It's called the schoolboy. Okay. All right. If you're a wrestling fan, you know what the schoolboy is. You grab him, you roll him up, you beat him, whatever. So I'm talking to her and working with her, and I call a school girl to where then I'm going to throw this punch, make sure you duck it, and hit me with a school girl. So as I rear back to punch, and I see her face looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, geez. And whap. Well, it was more of a chop. It was more of an open hand chop.
More of he just slapped my entire face.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I'm single, by the way, ladies. Anyways,
available.
Chopping her in the face, and then, the last thing I want to do is hit a woman in the face. I just felt horrible about it. But I said, schoolgirl. She's like, I don't know what that means.
I'm like, why are you calling it a schoolgirl? That's not its
Here's
name.
why.
That's what confused me.
Because I called it a schoolboy to her once, and she still didn't know, so she's trying to blame me.
Oh, that's
I'm
not
the pro
true.
that's 20
I
years
trained
here.
with Dr. Tom. I knew what a schoolboy was.
Everyone knows what a schoolboy. I didn't know what a schoolboy was.
He's over here trying to be politically correct and confusing me at the same time.
Not assuming.
And then he slaps my face off.
I'm not assuming the gender of your school. Wrestling pinfalls.
EC3 in studio. Hopefully not slapping Celeste here. This is, again, a family show in the morning. Hang with Ryan Lang on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland. You cool to hang around a little longer?
I'll hang with Ryan Lang all day.
That is going to be turned into a promo. We're going to play that every single day. EC3 in studio, gearing up for the Journey Home and Exodus Pro Wrestling event this Saturday night. Temple Live in Cleveland. We'll link up where you can get tickets on our Facebook page and more with EC3 and Celeste coming up. Oh, yeah. EC3. Got the walk-up music, the narrative.
Shout out to Tom Schaffner, Cleveland native, who created this little ballad for me.
It's a banger, dude.
It is. It's kind of dope.
Yeah.
I was watching Westworld, and they did a cover of Heart Shaped Box.
Oh, no way.
And then, I was like, I want a theme song that sounds like that.
Yeah.
So he made this for me. And then, come NWA 75, when I challenge for the World Heavyweight title, I'll have a new theme song that he also made, and pretty pumped about it.
That's coming up later this month.
That is, yes.
Before that, this weekend, the Journey Home, EC3 pro wrestler, Cleveland native in studio along with Celeste. And we're gearing up for this weekend's event at Temple Live. Tell us, where can we find some tickets?
I don't know. I am not a marketer. I'm a creative genius.
Gary's in studio. Gary knows what he's talking about.
So you can actually go get your tickets at Exo Pro Wrestling.
All right.
You can go to exopro.com. And actually, I don't mean to even take over your text line, but I'll say the fifth person that texts in their name will even put you and a guest on the guest list.
Hi-oh! I don't even know that you're authorized to do that, Gary, but that's
but you know what? You got a live mic. You don't have a dump button, so I'm just going to do it anyway. You know what I mean?
Don't say that. Don't say that. No, we'll do that. How about we do that on the Forest City Shuffleboard text line, 216-578-1073.
Do you get any good texts? I mean, do people want to rattle off some stuff and we can play with them? Do you do super chats? Do we get paid for these on the YouTubes?
The YouTubes. No, we don't.
Okay.
No, thanks for bringing it up, though.
No, and two, tickets will be available at the door. So Temple Live, the show doors open at 6:00. But I'd never buy anything in advance. I just walk up and buy things too. But if you would, just be so kind, exoprowrestling.com.
Yeah, man.
Get your tickets now.
We'll do it, exoprowrestling.com. Temple Live this weekend. It's the Journey Home here. It's an Exodus Pro Wrestling event, the first Exodus Pro Wrestling event in Cleveland. Cleveland native EC3, Celeste in studio as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. Now I'm going to do some goofy stuff for
without us?
No, with you.
Okay.
You're still going to hang around for just a moment for the goofy stuff. But best of luck to you this weekend, and with NWA, huge stuff coming up for you.
Yeah.
And we're happy to be here for it.
We're actually parlaying a relationship with Exodus and the NWA to possibly bring the NWA back to Cleveland. So maybe we can announce that come Exodus Pro. That would be pretty dope. And wouldn't it be cool if I came back to Cleveland as a reigning, conquering world heavyweight champion?
That would be pretty cool.
That would maybe I'd have Jose Ramirez walk me to the ring and just start knocking fools out.
Maybe we could set something up. You too.
I would love it.
You too.
He hustles. He's my favorite.
He is. EC3, it's been an honor, man. I appreciate you. We'll get that linked up on our Facebook page. Also, going to pick a winner to go to this weekend's Journey Home, an Exodus Pro Wrestling event with EC3 taking on J-Rock Daddy, and Celeste is going to be fighting as well. It's going to be awesome. We want to send you their text into the Forest City Shuffleboard text line. Just your name. It's 216-578-1073. EC3 in the studio. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Right now, it's Mike Shinoda. Let's get in my head. on 107.3 Alternative Cleveland.